To get this party started, we're today here with Chief Gary Sparks, retiring from the Oxford Fire Department. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to y'all.
All right, and so we just do just some background about yourself. Tell us a little about, how many years have you put into the fire department? Just introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, I've been in the fire service almost 43 years. May the 12th would be 43 years. And been the fire chief here for 19 years and a month shy of 19. And worked as a volunteer to start with. Went to Anniston as a full-time firefighter, but stayed a volunteer here. Then I started working part-time down here on my off days from Anniston, and was able to work my way up at Anniston to assistant chief. And then
how long did you work in Anniston, did you say?
20 years.
20 years in Anniston? Wow.
Yeah. And the city council here in Oxford came to me and said they wanted us to start a paid department. Mm-hmm. So, and they wanted me to be the chief and start that, and so we did. They hired me March the 3rd of 2007 officially as chief, and then we hired the first 6 full-time firefighters. They started on April 14th.
Oh, well, how many firefighters have you got right now, would you say?
We've got 47.
Wow. And how big is Oxford?
Oxford is about 24,000 people. We cover about 33 square miles.
That's a lot of area.
And we cover 21 miles of interstate.
That's
we cover from the east of Bogue exit to the Cleveland County line.
Okay.
And so that's a big area.
All right. So let's go through some of these questions, and we're going to start under the title of Career and Beginnings, which we're technically on right now. So what inspired you to become a firefighter, and why Oxford specifically?
Well, my father was a volunteer here when we first moved into Oxford. We lived in Bynum back then, and then we moved into Oxford. And Carl Bird, who was the assistant fire chief at that time here in Oxford, he lived across the street from us. And he had the neatest car. He had an old white Chevrolet with the lights on top. And so, and I was all the time up at the fire station with Daddy and him. And so I got interested in the fire service. And then when I was 15, I went to work for the city during the summer, working 40 hours a week at the fire station. Mm-hmm. And then all through school time, I worked 2 hours a day coming down to sweeping up, washing trucks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so I worked at the fire station from the time I was 15 to after I graduated.
All right, another question that goes along with that. Do you remember your very first call with the Oxford Fire Department?
The very first call after I become a firefighter. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the first call I went on. Oh. But the very first fire, it was up here on Luttrell Street. It was a house fire. Mm-hmm. And it was a kitchen fire. And we knocked it out pretty easy. But yeah, that was the first one.
Okay. What stayed with you from that day?
From that day? Just the fact that this job is something that people respect, and people they're gonna panic, they're gonna do things, but they expect us to come in and fix it.
Right.
And so
usually people run away from danger, and you guys are the ones that are running to it.
Right.
Okay. Looking back, how has the fire service changed today from when you started?
Oh, Lord. It has really changed. There's more technology in fire trucks now. in equipment, different equipment that you can use. Just a quick story. We've got the best trucks you can buy now.
And they're about almost $1 million a truck right now, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
They used to be not there, like maybe a $500,000 a couple of years back.
Yeah.
And then recently there was a huge jump on them, I remember.
Yeah. But they, when I was operating a pump, when I was still the driver, you had a knob you turned to bring the RPMs up to run the pump. And it was real easy. You pull the tank fill valve and, the water starts flowing. I walked up to one of our pumps. I couldn't figure out how to get water. Of course, it's not my job to get water, but I walked up to one of the pumps, and it's computer. You got a little computer there on the side of the truck, and you have to punch in the stuff that
right. Everything's computer automated these days?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is. And then way back, when I first started, we had air packs, but we didn't use them like we should.
Right.
They were, one, you was a sissy if you put on air pack, you got to be able to eat that smoke. And the other one is we didn't have them. We didn't have enough for everybody to wear an air pack. So
sure.
That's changed. Now everybody comes off the truck with air pack on, and which we've learned over the years, the things that cause health issues, the cancer, the heart issues. Cancer's really taken on a big thing here in the last several years, and so there's been some changes there to make it safer for the firefighters.
Just like trucking, there's always a safety issue.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to pause for just a sec.
All right.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Northeast Alabama News for our second segment here with Chief Gary Sparks. We're going to be talking about leadership and the years as the fire chief. What did it mean to you personally to serve as the fire chief for the city of Oxford? Were you excited? Were you nervous?
Both.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I had the opportunity to come in and build something from the ground up. Now, the fire department was here, but they were volunteers, and I had the opportunity to come in and build the paid department up. So, which was great, but it was scary too, because here I am. I'm moving from an assistant chief at Anniston, and down here at Oxford, I had Chief Smallwood, who ran the department. I wasn't the top dog.
Right.
When you become chief, you find out real quick that the buck stops with you. And
I think Mayor Smith had something on his desk that said the same thing.
Yeah.
The buck stops here on his desk.
Yeah, and you have to deal with the political side of it. You have to deal with the personnel problems, all that. But it meant to me, having grown up here in the fire department, Chief Webb was a big influence on me growing up through high school. My chiefs at Anniston, Chief Lee Foy, Chief Fincher, both of them were big influences on me. And some of my other, like captains and assistant chiefs and stuff that I had at Anniston. So, I mean, it was, I take a little bit from all of them, and learn, Dewey Webb was the kindest, most compassionate fire chief I ever been around. And he'd give you his shirt off his back. When I was a teenager, if I was going on a trip with the church, or if I was going anywhere, he'd come over and give me money and say, And I say, Chief, I got money. And he said, take it with you in case you need it. And if you don't, you can give it back to me. And you know, that was something, you know.
Not very many people do that.
And then Chief Leafoy, as I said earlier to some people, I said, he could have squashed me many times at Anniston because I was young and dumb and did some stupid things. But he didn't. Mm-hmm. Now, he chewed me out a lot. But when we walked out the door, it was over with. And I learned that from him, that it's, you know. And then Chief Fincher is the one who made me assistant chief. And I don't know that I would ever have made chief down here if I hadn't been an assistant chief at Anniston.
Right.
So it was, those people have been real close to me. And of course, Chief Webb has been dead now since 1986. So he was a good man.
Yes,
It's just a good man.
Okay. All right, give me 1 sec. All right, 3, 2, 1. What is the most challenging moment you've ever faced as chief, and how did you navigate it?
You would think it'd be a fire or some kind of incident.
Mm-hmm.
Personnel matters. If it wasn't for personnel problems, this would be a great job.
Sure, yeah,
you know?
definitely.
But dealing with personnel, dealing with different personalities, you say you want to treat everybody the same, you can't.
Reminds me of the movie Ladder 49.
Yeah. I mean,
that?
because everybody, yeah, I remember that. Everybody's different. And you got to know, you got to learn what makes this person do stuff and this person do stuff.
Yes, sir.
This one may let me just chew you out. And this one may be, you know, hey, come here, let's talk about this.
Sure, right.
And another thing I tried to do was
pause.
No.
2, 1. Go.
All right.
All right, we got that one pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. You still good on time? You still good on time? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we already talked about your most challenging moment you faced as chief. What decision or what decision or initiative are you most proud of during your time leading the department?
Probably the upgrade of equipment and the stations we've built. And then the firefighters, getting them trained, sending them to school, getting them prepared. In 2020, when I was so sick, the fire department didn't miss a beat. It was just like I was here. And that goes back to making sure that the people under you are trained. Mm-hmm. And so I'm proud of that they can take over. I have no doubt it'll be smooth as I leave. Mm-hmm. You know, Ben will take over, and the people under him, we've got good people in place. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that I am proud of. And the public sees us in a good light. Absolutely. And we are helpful to the public.
I mean, every year, every public safety night, we're always excited to see you guys out there and just, you know, getting the younger ones and influencing them coming out of high school. Mm-hmm. You've done a lot of inspiring around here.
The high school program has been good too. Mm-hmm. Where we started that several years ago.
The Create program, I think?
No. Create's down there. Oh. We have a high school program where kids come to us their senior year at lunch, and they're with us the rest of the day.
Oh, wow.
And we teach them firefighting And
That
when
sounds fun.
at the end of the school year, they can go to a bridge program, and be fully certified in the state of Alabama.
I remember hearing something from Anderson Fire about the bridge
Yeah,
program, but I didn't
Anderson
know.
has a program like that too. But ours is right now it's just strictly been Oxford.
That's pretty cool.
And I've probably got a third of my department come through our high school program.
From the kids? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is something to look forward to as if you're a senior in high school. So.
Oh yeah. I would have loved to have had it. Yeah.
All right. All right, let me pause this here real quick and do another one. How did you approach leadership when it came to firefighter safety and mental health?
Well, like I said earlier, getting the newer equipment, making sure we train on that equipment and having it. But the mental health part,
is there a real big mental health?
there is. But I started early on. The first two appointments I made was chaplains. Chris Sperling and Harold Feazell are our chaplains.
Is that Skeeter, one of them?
Yeah, Skeeter.
He was a nice guy. 50 years, I think he did.
Yeah.
That's
And
incredible.
then anytime we have a real bad incident, I will call them, and I'll call Ted Embry, who has the crisis intervention team, and they've been in several times because it's good to get it at the beginning, and I'll pull those off the trucks and those people who dealt with that, and we've had some things where we all just sit in the room and cry together over it. It's not natural for us to have so many death scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it gets to you, kids get to you.
Absolutely.
And things like that. So we've used Ted Embry a lot. Ted's a good friend, and he'll come at any time. I called him one morning about 4:30 in the morning, and he come right out.
Right.
So that's how we've handled it.
Right on. All right. Let me do this again real quick. What qualities do you believe make a great fire chief in today's world?
He's got to learn that today's employees that are coming into the work field are not like us.
Right.
They ask why. They ask questions. They want to, well, why we got to do it that way? And stuff like. But that's just the way they were raised up in this society. When I started, you and Dare asked,
Right. Yeah.
Boss said do it. That was good
story.
enough.
Right. Yeah.
And so that is challenging to work through because there's times I just want to tell them, say, because I said so.
I mean, there could be a valid reason, like a safety issue or something. Usually
and
safety
there's
related,
also,
I guess.
you got to teach them, there's fireground orders and there's station orders. Okay? Fireground orders, there's no discussion. You do what the officer said. And if you want to talk about it when we get back, that's fine. But we don't have time on a fire scene to negotiate what we're going to do, And
It's the first time I've heard that term. I never heard of fireground orders before.
Yeah, unless the officer's told you to do something, and you know something about the fire that maybe he doesn't know.
Sure.
To let him know, but that's kind of how I've done it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about community impact. I think we might have covered some of these here.
Okay.
Let me pause for a second. Catch your breath.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Oxford has grown a lot over the years. How did that growth change the way the department operated?
Well, the obvious, back years ago, we were all volunteer, and we run out of one fire station. and then we built a second one out Friendship.
I wondered how that was around because I didn't know for a minute. I was gone for 15 years driving trucks. I didn't know what fire station came into where, one over by the airport.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Well, there's one.
East of Boga, I think.
There was the one at the main station was behind the old city hall.
Yes, sir.
And then we built where the main station is now. Friendship was there where Circle Drive comes back into Friendship Road just before you get Sherwood Forest.
Yes, sir.
That building that's still there, and our maintenance department uses it. And that's all we had. But when I took over, well, then they built one in Jarmanville and
Oh,
one.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
And then they built one in Coldwater.
Right.
All volunteer. Well, when we started as paid, first thing we did was outfit Station 1 for people to live in. We had to have living quarters.
Sure.
And then we built Station 3, which is down at Bynum, and the drill field in the Station 6 there. We built those two next. And then we built the one at Friendship, replaced the old one. And so since I've been chief, we built 4 stations and a drill tower.
So there's a total of how many now stations?
There's 6 stations.
6 stations and the drill tower?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you share a moment when you truly swallowed? All right. Are you comfortable with the next question? Can you share a moment when you truly saw the impact the fire department had on someone's life?
Yep. Okay. I sure can.
All right.
All right.
Let me get it real quick. Can you share a moment when you truly saw the impact the fire department had on someone's life?
Yes. 1996, August the 24th of 1996, to be exact. I was at work at Anniston. We had a little lightning storm come up, and we had a call come up on the screen. Dispatcher hollered at me and said, "Hey, is this your house?" And I looked, I said, "No, that's across the street from me." And they said, "Well, it's on fire." Well, Chief Fincher I was actually a lieutenant then, and Chief Fincher was a captain. He said, "Come on and ride with me out there." So we did, and where we lived out here off of Golden Springs Road at that time it was in no man's land.
Right.
Anniston was here, Oxford was here, and there was a section in the middle. And so both departments answered the call to it. Well, me and him, we got another call over in Golden Springs, and me and him went by it. Now, still nobody's told me anything on the radio. We come down, and when we rounded the corner, there was smoke boiling out of my house. It was my house that was on fire.
Oh, my goodness.
And, of course, my son and wife they were in Gadsden. I knew where they were at. And then, the obvious things, I'm standing in the yard crying, and, everything you own's burning up. And we ended up going back to the fire station. Monica's dad went up there, and my brother, and I stayed at the house because we didn't know where she was going. Figured she might stop by the station in Anniston. And they called me, told me she was there, so I went up there and told her. And the hardest thing to learn out of that was humility.
Yeah.
Because I was used to being the one who gave, the one who helped, and it was time for me to get help. Had people come out of the woodwork. Our church at the time, they called that afternoon, later that afternoon, and said, meet us at Walmart. We're going to get you some things. And I said, no, we're fine. I stay at Mom and Daddy's. We got insurance, da-da-da-da.
Right.
They said, be at Walmart.
Right.
So we get down there, and the women took Monica, and the men took me. And I reckon it really hit me then when they said, what size underwear are you wearing?
Yeah.
And I said, I got one pair of underwear. And I got it on. Yes. Give me just a second. I'm sorry.
No problem. Time out. Hey guys, welcome back to episode number 3 with Gary Sparks, retiring from City of Oxford as fire chief. And in this segment here, we're going to talk about the brotherhood, culture, and mentorship. Firefighters often talk about the brotherhood. What does that mean to you personally?
Well, it's hard to explain, but firefighters spend a third of their life with each other. And probably spend more time away from their family than they do with their family, because that third of their life, they're at the fire station. When they get off, most of them work a second job. Mm-hmm. And so, and I did, as I was growing up, through the fire service, I worked 2 jobs. It just so happened mine was at Anniston Fire and here at Oxford. So, but the brotherhood is, I know right now, and I've got some good close friends that I work with at Anniston. Don't see them often. But if I call one of them right now, he'd show up.
Right.
He'd be here. And, if something were to happen, I know that they would take care of my family just like I would take care of their family. And it's just, that closeness that we have.
It's a beautiful bond.
Yeah. And of course, we're going to argue with each other. And we're going
That happens in any environment.
Oh,
usually,
yeah.
So,
Yeah, but don't let nobody else mess with us.
Exactly. All right. Let me get this done here. I already talked about your mentor earlier today, so we can probably skip that one. What advice, Chief Sparks, what advice would you always try to pass on to younger firefighters?
Learn as much as you can. Go to every school you can go to. The fire service is changing. It changes a lot that people may not realize it, but it does change. Mm-hmm. And the more training you got, the safer you're going to be, the better you're going to be able for the people that are under you or the ones around you. That was something me and Tony Taylor and Jeff Brooks at Anniston, we got together and we went to every class we could go to. There was, and we would pay for them ourselves if the department wouldn't pay. But it helped us to get where we was.
To be prepared for any situation.
And to be
that comes
prepared,
up.
I ended up a chief, Tony ended up a chief, and JJ ended up an assistant chief. So they were, but it paid off, but it also, allowed us to be prepared, yes. And that's one thing. The other thing, if you're trying to get in the fire service, apply to every department around you. Get your foot in the door. If you can get your foot in the door somewhere, then it's easier, that you can go to maybe a bigger department or something like that. So
you just got to take that first step and apply.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. What is something understand?
Ask that next one.
You do want me to? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Chief Sparks. Chief Sparks. What is something the public may not fully understand about the job as a firefighter?
The perception public is that all we do is sit around, sleep, and wait on the fire call to happen. They don't realize that we are that we have to test hoses, we have to test hydrants, we have to test the pumps, on an annual basis. We do equipment checks every day. We clean our own stations. We don't have a maid, we do several public events a year. I mean, there's a lot of those that we do. And, it's not the old adage of sitting there and waiting on the horn.
Right, yeah.
And so, people don't really understand that sometimes.
Yeah, people think the same thing about truck drivers. All they do is sit behind the wheel. They don't have to really do anything else. That's could be further from the truth right there. All right, let me cut this question here. All right, we're going to jump into memorable moments and reflection. Are there any calls of moments that stay with you today? You okay with those? Is there anything? Okay. What's up?
So did we do that one?
No. Wait. Which one? What?
The memorable moment. Yeah, you did that one because that's when you told the story.
Yeah. Okay. We can go past that one, I guess.
I have to keep it in mind.
It's under that title though. It's under the area.
Yeah. Well, that when they're about it says, are there any calls or moments that still stay with you?
You want to go with that?
Yeah. That's a tough one. I can tell you.
You want to go with it?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, Chief Sparks, are there any calls or moments that still stick with you today?
Yes. And you dealing with people who are in their worst moments. Wrecks, house fires where we have people die or hurt real bad. Those moments are, they stay with you, and you got to process that. That's part of the PTSD and mental health that we was talking about earlier.
Yes, sir.
I can drive down the road and I can say, yeah, we had a fire fatality there. Or we worked a bad wreck here, Those are not going to leave you. They're ingrained in you. And you just got to learn how to process them, or it drive you crazy, I mean, there's some nights or some days that, I'll go home and it's just, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to go home and, relax and process what's happened that day, And, when you got kids the same age as, say, a kid that got killed or hurt real bad, and you got kids that same age, it's really tough.
Yes, sir.
So, you're gonna remember those from now on. And I know Chief Webb told me one time that had a fire fatality, and he was in there in the house looking for the victim, a little 9-year-old girl. And she was up on the bed, and her nightgown got hung on the bedpost. And that's where she was at. They climbed up on the bed to try to go out the window. And, those type things,
Sure.
There's a lot of, I don't want to get into too many specifics because I don't want, if somebody of one of the families is
we can cut
listening, but I just, it's just those things are tough.
Those things get, yeah.
Yeah, but there's also some good times that stay with you.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. If there's any of that you want me to cut out, that's not a problem. Like, I don't think there's anything that would like be Facebook sensitive per se, but it's just talking about the career of the job, so it should be fine. I just want to be sure, we do that right. Okay, let me see. What is the hardest part of the job you don't miss, and what do you miss most? There you go. Perfect question.
Hold on.
Give me 1 second. Okay. 1 second. All right. What is the hardest part of the job that you don't miss, and what will you miss the most?
Well, I think since I haven't officially got there yet, I think I'll miss mostly the relationships with the firefighters and staff and our administrative assistants up front and the other department heads and stuff in the city. I'm gonna miss being around them. Because we're all close, and so I know I'll miss that. What will I not miss is budget time. Trying to work out a budget and it's just tough. You're sitting there and you got every department they are jockeying for the same money. And
has that ever been an issue with the city? Have you?
No, not really. Issues? I mean, I have been able to get what we needed. May not have always got what I wanted.
Sure.
But I've always been able to get what we needed.
Okay.
And so that wasn't a big problem. But there's dealing with.
I know a lot of agencies have problem getting trucks. I think Southside got one a couple of years ago when Mr. Waits was over there, got an approval for a new fire truck and the new fire station and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we've got a good fleet of fire trucks and everything. Probably the next truck we're going to go after, and I say I'm not going to be here, but
you're still part of it.
But then we've talked about it, is our oldest ladder truck is starting to give us some mechanical problems, and so it's getting close to time to replace it. Now
sure.
That's going to be an expensive truck, and so, but I won't miss that. I won't miss employee problems, dealing with them, and the public. 99% of them are good. There's always that 1% that that you got to deal with.
Yes, sir. All right, let me pause for a second. All right, we talked about that one. Okay, here's a good one. How did being a firefighter and chief shape you as a person outside of work?
I had to get used to people calling me chief, and I ain't got a clue who they are. But they see me because they know who I am, and hey chief, how you doing? And I just, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Because I don't know who they are. That is one problem, and and it's. I had to get used to that.
Right.
Being a firefighter has shaped my whole life, my whole adult life. So what I am today is based on me being a firefighter. And, and my identity to people is a firefighter. So
for the longest time, that's how I knew you, of course, but, everyone looks up to you, and the whole city, the whole community, everybody, you got that title, you earned that respect, you earned that love from the community, and that's got to be rewarding in itself, I'm assuming.
It is, and just having their trust is the big thing, I'm sure I'm still going to have people call me and tell me their house is on fire, there's a grass fire. you know, and he won't mind me telling this because he did a video for us. Jeff Goodwin, when he was superintendent here.
He was my science teacher, actually, so I got into meteorology. But go on.
He called me about midnight one night. And he said, Sparky, I think my house is on fire. And I said,
What?
Okay, Doc. I said, what's your house? What's your address? He gave it to me. I hung up and called 911. You know, and so told them where to send the trucks to.
Right.
And of course, I got up and went. And his house was on fire.
Oh, no.
And but I mean, I get those calls all the time.
Not Mr. and Mrs. Goodwin. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Great
But
people.
it's just-
They are great people.
Oh, they are. They are great friends. They were in my Sunday school class when we went to church together, and he was actually my backup. I was a Sunday school teacher, and he was my backup.
Well, both of them taught me, and they taught me well. So hopefully this will be a credit during this interview. Just give them a shout out. So
Yeah.
thank you for teaching me well to the both of them.
Yeah.
So, all right, legacy and message. Let me pause here for a sec. All right,
Battery 9%.
battery at 9%. You know what? You can just go back right in the case. I thought they were charging pretty good. That's okay. We're almost done here, so. All right. All right. Under legacy and message, how do you hope? Sorry. Hey, how you doing? 3, 2, 1. Your legacy and message. How do you hope firefighters in the Oxford community will remember you as chief?
I hope they remember that I cared about them, and I tried to do everything to make them better. And you know, talking about the firefighters, yeah. But in the community, I hope I'm remembered as somebody who was helpful, somebody who was there when they needed me, and they'll just remember that there's more. The firefighters that we have put in place can take care of this. So,
Pause. We are going to do. What message would you like to leave for the men and women currently serving in the Oxford Fire Department?
that they're public servants, and that they public servants take on different things. Mm-hmm. It may be changing a tire for somebody. It may be fighting a house fire. It may be going out and showing kids a fire truck. You know, it takes on different meanings, but they are a servant to the people and the citizens of Oxford. And, you know, we got, every once in a while you'll have a fireman that say something, I don't know why they call us, you know, for that, you know. And I tell them, I say, just think. I said, to them, it was an emergency. And they called you to come help. They didn't call the police. They didn't call somebody else. They called the fire department because they wanted us to come help them because they trust us. Mm-hmm. And I said, they don't need to forget that, you know, that we are servants and we're here to give and take care of our people and our visitors that are in town.
Okay. About out of battery here, it's like down to like 10%, so we'll just wrap up with one more question here. Okay. If you could sum up your career in the fire service in one sentence, what would it be?
That I was always faithful to the people that I serve.
Awesome. Chief Sparks, happy retirement, and we thank you for your time today.
Well, I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. All right, guys, be sure to hit that like, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and we'll see y'all with Ben Stewart in the next one. Thank y'all so much, and have a good one.